what is fear? Fear is an illusion produced by the ego subconscious mind. The thing is with the ego is that it will always try to guard the things it's familiar with. And the ego has no interest of what you want or what is good for you. However, when you decide and use your determination to proceed with something that you receive from your higher self, from your spirit. So when you get so emotional involved with that idea that you recognize fear, but you want to do it anyway, the ego will still feel discomfort because it's not familiar to this new concept. But as soon as the ego recognizes that, okay, this is something that I will continue doing, then the ego starts to accept the new idea and starts to begin to turn it into a program. That's how the ego mind sustain its survival. Then you will build up your assets of courage. And that is a good thing. That is great. But what is even greater is to recognize that liberation from the EMI is always the true value and true ascending to the awareness of your higher self, of your divine self. But if you are very new to this idea, the concept about the ego, I would say it's better to install new programs that serve your expansion of awareness. For example, install programs of courage that grow. It's better to do things being scared so that even if the program still remains, you are the commander of how you respond to it. And I think that for some directions, when we have deep-rooted layers of the EMI installed, in those cases, it's better to create new paradigms, new programs that serves you on your ascending journey and in your ascending and expansion of your awareness. Because through each higher frequency you reach, your awareness will expand a little bit more. And through that expansion, you will get a little bit closer to the tangible truth. And the tangible truth is, your pure essence, your divine self, your creator being, and the unconditional love that your spirit and soul is. Using my own spiritual journey as an example, I used affirmations in the beginning to expand my circles of comfort, to see what was out there, to leave my ego mind, even if I didn't have any concept of what that was at the time, but the same fuel of pure curiosity was the engine that propelled me to go further. And as I did, I become more and more aware. And this was not always quantum leaps. It could be, a little just, seed of awareness that started to grow. And then I got to the point that I became aware about the paradigm, how the paradigm or the ego mind identity both are programs of thoughts and behaviors installed in our subconscious mind. And the more that I expanded on this concept, I became more and more aware. And I became aware about the terror barrier. That is the defensive wall that your paradigm puts up whenever you look further than your comfort zone, whenever you want to take the step out of your comfort zone. And the terror barrier is recognized as fear, of course, but anxiety, fear of failure. The ego mind even try to lure you in through programs of thinking about optimizing. That's when you want to express and you release that creation to the universe, but you are taking the pause on the runway because you are bombarded with thinking that you could do this better. You should optimize it before you release it. When you get stuck in the zone that you are currently expanded your comfort zone to, for you to actually grow, you cannot, run in circles within this zone. You need to expand it, and the only way to expand it and to grow is to push through it. And that's why when the EMI projects idea that you should do things perfect before you release them. And when I became aware about the terror barrier, it functioned as I turned that awareness about the terror barrier into a guide or a signal sign that I was on the right path. Like, okay, I got this want within me, but before I take the leap, I get paralyzed because I know that I can do it better. Translated to expectations, because expectations is always craving for validation. And as this new idea served as expansion leap for me to do it anyway, for me to recognize the sounds of fear and terror actually to be the symbols and the signs that I were actually on the right path. And through that concept, I expanded on the idea that there are two voices in our mind. The one is the ego mind voice, and the other one is our higher mind's voice. And through that acceptance, we will strengthen our ability to listen to the true voice, transmitted as the message from the spirit. And those ideas were great because I needed to have those experiences to get to the next level of awareness, that acceptance is always in direct relation to agreement. We don't need to accept anything. However, through allowance, we invite all the endless possibilities because we are not attached to neither acceptance, aka agreement, and not attached to rejection, or not attached to resistance, So based on my current level of awareness, I know that we do not have to accept that there will be two voices in our mind. The ego mind voice, mostly deep-rooted in our subconscious mind, and the higher mind voice, the transmission from our higher selves message. I am aware of them, but I am dissolving the voice of the ego mind more and more, and raising my gaze and my channel of receiving to the voice of my higher self, But now I do know that there is liberation from the ego mind. I'm not saying that I will get there fully in this lifetime, but I know there is liberation, and it's through the path of dissolving the patterns one by one.